everybody.
We're both wearing memoriam shirts.
Hey, we are. What the fuck?
What?
Mine actually says.
Well, okay. Well, yours is an actual memoriam shirt, but we're both wearing shirts of people who, great musicians who have
died.
I was gonna say deceased, but.
So this is definitely a long one coming.
Yeah. Friday marked the 25th anniversary of the dates that a wonderful, irreplaceable, beautiful, wonderful voice unfortunately left us quite too soon, as I think most people will agree. Of course, I'm talking about Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
My boy. Nirvana is my personal favorite band of all time. I don't know if y'all have ever seen my Kurt tattoo, but I have this picture tattooed on me, on my leg, and I don't know if you've seen it in other videos where I've been walking around in shorts, but Nirvana is my favorite band. Kurt is like my muse and has probably influenced and impacted me on a musical and artistic level more than any other band or artist. Even though there's a lot of them out there, Kurt has definitely taken a special place in not only my heart, but definitely countless hearts all over the world, which is why it was such a shock and a extreme saddening 25 years ago when they discovered he was no longer with us. And I know Dakota likes Kurt Cobain.
I love Kurt Cobain a lot.
Kurt
So we're gonna be covering one of their records. I got introduced to Nirvana. So when I first met Maggie, I didn't know. I knew of them, but I didn't really. No, I knew of them because like 4 Years Strong has covered them and stuff. So I've known of them, but I didn't really listen to them a lot. But Maggie, I wanted to impress her, so I listened to all their discography.
Because I'm obsessed with them.
Yeah, I wanted to listen to all their discography, all their shit. I was like, wow, they're pretty decent. And a lot of people called them overrated, and I was like, I don't think so. But as the years went on, I started loving them even more and more and more. Saw Montage of Heck. Basically started fucking falling in love with this band. They're fucking amazing. I'm still pretty new to them, although I absolutely love the mind of Kurt, and I love the music that they all have created.
Yeah.
Chris Novoselic, Dave Grohl, and the past drummers, Clover.
Scott Rainier.
Fucking blank.
Chad Channing.
Yeah, and then there's
Scott Rainier. Oh my god, I'm a fake fan. This is where it all
the record
started.
we're gonna do is Bleach. Yeah.
Just Chris and Kurt.
Yeah, it's boom, and then on the back, boom.
Bleach. And then the inside says Bleach, and then there's a picture of them in the bag.
Boom.
Pretty typical, like the whole Seattle. This looks exactly like Mudhoney's album cover from Blood River. Not Mudhoney, Green River, I'm sorry. Man, I am a fake grunge fan.
Fucking it up.
Jesus, I'm fucking up today. This one is just on black vinyl. This was released on Sub Pop. This was the only record that Nirvana did with Sub Pop, and I believe it might have changed, but I believe it is still Sub Pop's top selling record of all time. So yeah, that's the record. It's just black.
It's just a black vinyl.
So this was hi.
She's come for the special occasion.
She's come for the special occasion. She also really likes Kurt Cobain. Don't you? You like Kurt Cobain? That means yes.
Yes.
In cat speak. Naruto! Get it! You knocked over Naruto!
She usually doesn't knock shit over.
I know. Watch out for him.
Like, fuck this guy.
Fuck this guy. Naruto. Anyway. God, where do I even start? I could literally go on about Nirvana forever, and I'll probably do a whole separate video about them later.
Yeah.
But basically, where'd it go?
Oh.
Sorry. So basically, yeah, this was their first record that they did. It came out in 1989. This was pre-Dave Grohl era. So, okay, Chad Channing is a very good drummer, and I think he's actually quite underrated because people kind of forget about him. He's no Dave Grohl, but that doesn't mean he sucked.
Yeah.
Honestly, like people, it's just I feel bad because he kind of got forgotten about because Dave Grohl is such a beast.
Yeah.
But he honestly is very underrated.
Well,
like the drums on this are very solid. The rhythm section, quite commonly with Nirvana, like throughout their whole career, the rhythm section carries a majority of the songs, and there's kind of minimal guitars in a lot of like the verses and stuff like that. So obviously he did a great job on this record. So he's a little bit of an underrated drummer, in my opinion.
Yep. During their Hall of Fame, Dave Grohl was saying like there's a bunch of drummers before him that made Nirvana what they are also, and they deserve a huge credit on that.
Yeah.
It wasn't just him.
Yeah, for real. We're not going to talk about Dave Grohl because he wasn't in the band.
He wasn't in it, so fuck him.
Fuck him. We're just going to talk about the other three. So, Chris Novoselic is, I also think, one of the most underrated musicians ever.
Absolutely.
He's so underrated. I never hear anybody, he's never on a top bassist list. I never hear any, like you hear everybody talking about Kurt and Dave, like everybody talks about them, but not enough people talk about Chris, and I think that's a damn shame because he is fucking powerhouse on that goddamn bass.
Yeah, and it's not like he doesn't stand out.
Jeez.
He's literally like fucking 7 feet.
He's like 7 feet tall, this long, tall ass lanky dude. Yeah, he's got a he was like a jokester, and funny thing, if you watch Nirvana interviews, he's actually really talkative for a bassist.
Yeah.
He talks he talks more than Kurt. He talks quite a bit more than Kurt. So it's like he definitely got the personality and like the presence. I don't know. It's just one of those things where
cool,
I think it's because
I mean, the record opens with a fucking dope ass.
Well, it's because Kurt became like a legend, and then Dave went on to form like a really big rock band, and he just kind of chilled out and did his own thing. But I think he is rapidly underrated, like ridiculously underrated. Because the bass on this thing is fucking amazing.
Fucking stellar bass riff.
Blue. Yeah. Could do anything. Could do anything. Blue is the first song on this record, and I kind of always figured that this song was sort of about. He's sort of talking about. I mean, maybe from the perspective of somebody else talking to him, of saying like you could do anything. You have all this potential. You have all this like. All these things you could do with your life.
You have a lot of shit going for you.
You have a lot of shit going for you, but you're just not doing anything with that. And it's kind of like, it's a damn shame because like you could do anything. You have all this going for you and you have all this mojo and you're just like, what are you doing, you know? And maybe it was kind of Kurt talking about like perspectives of him from other people, or maybe it was just him kind of thinking out loud about himself. Who knows, but that's kind of what that song is. What's some other songs on here you really like?
About a Girl. I mean,
About a Girl, yeah.
The reason why it comes on at work all the fucking time.
It's a great song.
Which is dope because it's like the only song on there I like.
It's a great song.
But, yeah, I mean, it's pretty basic.
It's about a girl.
It's about a girl. I'm pretty sure there wasn't a title for it, and then I forget who asked it. He said, "Oh, it's about a girl."
Yeah.
So they called it About a Girl.
Yeah.
I don't know. What I like about this record is it kind of sounds like a lot. It sounds more like the grunge 4. Like they all kind of had a similar sound at one point, and this sounds like that sound. You know what I mean?
A little more. Grunge is always rough around the edges, but this record in particular, since it was independently released, you can kind of tell it was a lower budget project.
Absolutely.
But honestly, I think that's kind of one of the things. Quite honestly, if Nirvana had a record with this sort of production, but the songwriting technique of In Utero, I think they would have had like the perfect fucking record.
Yeah.
No, don't get me wrong, all their stuff is stellar, but I don't know, there's something about lower budget productions to me that just like fucking I'm like, ooh, that I'm just like drawn to.
It's real.
It is more real.
It's way more real.
One of my favorite songs on here of all time by Nirvana and off this record, probably my favorite off this record, and one of my favorite top 10 Nirvana is Paper Cuts. I think that's kind of one of the most like dark, sort of demented, depraved songs that they've written. Kurt Cobain was an amazing vocalist. He was an amazing fucking vocalist. You could feel every single word he ever wrote, every single word he ever came out of his mouth. You could connect with on a personal level.
Just feeling behind it.
There's just something about Kurt, like something about his mind, something about the way he wrote and combined like his guitar and the other instruments and his voice and his lyrics all together to kind of create this ridiculous, crazy mind puzzle that you just can't figure out. And I think the only people who honestly could figure out Kurt Cobain were the people who felt like him.
Yeah.
And that's a part of why he and Nirvana were such a cultural phenomenon.
What I love about the Nirvana is that a lot of bands and a lot of records, you can pretty much tell what a song is about. It's pretty basic. It's pretty cut and dry. That's what it's about. But it can still be interpreted in many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But with Kurt's stuff and Nirvana stuff, sometimes the lyrics don't make a shit sense
Kurt
at
wrote
all.
he wrote a lot of weird lyrics, and the thing about
But-
the songwriting on this is it's not his best songwriting.
Yeah, well,
Some of the lyrics,
a
little bit's a little
cringy.
cringy. Yeah, you can definitely tell some of it was kind of thrown together, but
Well, yeah,
Kurt
'cause he
as
was
general is
pissed.
a songwriter. Yeah.
Yeah, he was pissed, so he wrote a lot of shit right away. That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wasn't there, but
I wasn't even born.
yeah, and it's just like I was saying, the lyrics, you're like, what the fuck? But that's what's great about it is it's literally up to your own interpretation. I
Yeah.
think that's the way he wanted it to be.
I think so too.
Obviously, songs are about things, and you're gonna tell what it's about. But obviously, sometimes it's like, what does it mean to you?
I guess then my meaning of Paper Cuts is I've heard an interpretation that it's about like an abused child, and it's sort of speaking from the perspective of like this kid who's like locked up in a bedroom and like is abused by his parents. I don't know if that's like the real thing. That's just somebody told me that's what they thought it was about once. I always kind of thought it was a similar concept, but instead of like a child literally being locked inside a room, I always kind of thought it was more of a personification of Kurt being locked inside of his own thoughts, sort of a thing. Like where he says like, I crawl towards like the crowd of light, but sometimes I can't find my way. I kind of always thought it was more of a trapped inside my own dark thoughts and my own dark sort of misery thing, and it's sort of being like trapped in there, and you can. Because like the part where he says like the windows are blacked out and I can like I scratch them with my nails, but like it does like nothing like like the windows are blacked out. I always sort of imagined it as basically like someone being kind of like so trapped like within themselves and within their own dark thoughts that they just kind of can't find a way out.
It's a good way of interpreting it.
That's what I always kind of thought it was about, especially because Kurt did struggle with a lot of mental problems and a lot of drug abuse. So which he expressed a lot in his music, so I always kind of thought that's what that song was about. There's a Spill Canvas song, and I don't remember which song it was, but there's like a lyric in there that says, it feels like 1,000 paper cuts soaked in vinegar, and first of all. But second of all, I kind of think like that is sort of the feeling that I think this song Paper Cuts does invoke.
Yeah.
It's sort of just like all like paper cuts, you know, it's just like this like pain, and it's kind of like numbing to a point, and it's just like you don't know how to pull yourself out of it.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I always thought that's kind of how I interpret the song. It's like I said, it's very dark, it's very creepy. There's a lot of cymbals, and it creates a sort of atmospheric sort of thing. There's this really low bass, and the vocals go from like him kind of droning on like this to like yelling. It's all over the place, and it's wonderful.
Yeah. And the thing with paper cuts is you don't really even know you got paper cuts until
you get hand sanitizer in them, and you're like,
certain things set it off, and that's kind of what can be made about the song too.
Yeah.
You know.
I also love Negative Creep. I fucking love Negative Creep. That's definitely Kurt talking about himself. He is the negative creep. And so it's kind of like a song for like those outcast people. The negative creeps are always stoned.
Yep.
The chorus is just Daddy's little girl ain't a girl no more, so it's kind of about
Daddy's little girl and a girl.
I think it's about like losing your innocence.
Yeah.
Not being transgender.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what it's about.
I think it's about losing your innocence, like loss of innocence, and like like kind of yeah, like I love that song. I think Negative Creep is so good. It's very energetic. It's really crazy. Again, it's just crazy sounding. Like he sounds like fucking sadistic. Like he just sounds insane. The energy he brings is unfucking real.
It's sick, man.
Ow.
It's fucking sick as hell. But
I just smashed this on my fucking teeth.
One of my favorite songs on the record isn't even one of their own songs. I heard that at bands all the time. And I was like, oh yes, here we go. But it's Love Buzz.
It's a very good cover.
It's a cover. So.
It was released as a single, and I guess Kurt actually didn't want to release it as a single, but Chris convinced him to.
Yeah.
Because it was just, it's a good,
Well,
it's a good cover.
Floyd Barber?
Floyd the Barber.
Floyd the Barber.
Yeah.
And I forget what the other song was, but there were 3 songs that were singles.
About a Girl?
I know that there were 3 songs on the record that there was a drummer that recorded on those ones, and then when they put out this record, there was another drummer, and they just decided to remix the one with the other drummer. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I know those 2 songs were one of them. I just love I listen to this record just for the instruments, I'm gonna be completely fucking honest.
Dude, the instruments are great.
They're just fucking so raw.
Kurt, as a guitarist, I do think, I did see him on a Rolling Stones Top 50, which honestly a lot of people are like, what the fuck, he couldn't even play guitar, he was terrible. I'm like, guys, here's why I think he belongs there, and here's why I think he's an underrated guitarist. Was he a virtuoso? No. Was he a prodigy? No. But that's kind of like the point, and that's kind of the appeal, is that like,
Well,
I don't want to say he sucked, but like in the best way. Like he played a lot of power chords, a lot of open notes, and it's just like, it was so different. Like he literally created his own style. Like that was undeniably his, and undeniably his playing and his singing, and I think that's super fucking awesome.
Well, that's the thing about guitar.
Like he's not necessarily a virtuoso, but like that's kind of what made him great.
And that's exactly what's wrong with the music world that we live in right now. A lot of people think that you have to have super clean voice, has to be perfect, has to be on key, everything.
Yeah.
And then with guitar, if you can't fucking shred, what the fuck are you?
I mean, there's even like a little, I think it's in, what is it? I think it's in Blue. It's in Blue that there's a pretty tight little solo in there. Like, so honestly, he was a decent guitarist and he had his own style and his own thing going on, and I think that's part of
Well,
what
I've had
was
friends
great.
that have sent me videos of Kurt, like playing off key and out of tuning.
He did a lot of things on purpose.
Yeah.
That was kind of Nirvana's gimmick.
Fucking purpose.
That was kind of their gimmick, in case no one noticed.
I'm
He did
still
a lot
waiting
of
for
that
somebody
shit
to
on
send me that
purpose.
video that they did with what TV show was that? Yeah, what
I don't
TV
remember.
show?
Oh fuck, I don't remember.
They did a.
It was some British TV show. I don't remember.
They did some. They said they were gonna play it to backtracks,
Yeah.
except for the vocals, and so.
And they said, "Fuck that."
Yeah, and so
to
they
the
were.
backtrack.
They weren't even playing the guitars.
If you
I was singing
if you want a good laugh,
stupid.
if you
Yeah.
singing fucking stupid. If you want a good laugh, look up Nirvana Butcher
I'm
Smell
still-
Like Teen Spirit on Purpose.
I'm still waiting for
It's
somebody
great.
to send me that and be like, "Wow, they suck."
Bro, first of all, if you listen to a lot of their live performances, they're really fucking good. I never saw them live because
Oh.
they fucking formed,
I've
rose
heard.
to fame, and then Kurt died before I was even born.
Yeah, I've heard
But-
that they were really good live.
But yeah, dude, a lot of the time, like, that was kind of their gimmick, was to, like,
Yeah.
fuck shit up and break strings and throw instruments. Like, they were kind of a discount to Who.
I think what I was kind of saying is that it doesn't. There's this pressure on society for everything perfect, everything perfect, everything perfect.
There
And-
was a pressure in society that for that
Well,
time, too.
And, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. There's pressure, everything has to be perfect, and the reason why Kurt's on the top list is because what people don't consider is that when you're on the top guitarist list, it's what you made of the guitar.
Yeah.
It's not saying, oh, top 100 greatest guitarists of all time based purely on skill and technique.
Yeah.
That would be kind of different.
It would be quite
He
different.
made his own style, and that
Yeah.
style was extremely successful,
Mm-hmm.
and that style has carried on through the ages.
Yeah, it has absolutely
He's on
inspired a
there.
lot of more bands.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a few more good songs. This record, again, like, it's not their best. It's definitely really good. There's a lot of sort of, like, songs on here that do feel sort of like filler songs that, you know, I'll listen to because I love Nirvana, but it's like I don't kind of go out of my way. So their best record, no, but a very good first effort and very good
Definitely.
production with a
Fucking
lot
agree.
of promise. Abso-fucking-lutely. And of course they delivered on that promise.
Absolutely.
With their 2 consecutive next records, and this is kind of what started it all. So I love Bleach for what it is, and I think that it was a really good debut album.
Yeah.
And I think that it did show off a lot of the skill of them as musicians, and it showed a lot of potential for Kurt as a songwriter.
Check them out if you haven't. I'm sure you fucking have. I mean, like, you could be like me and you've only heard a couple things, but
Well, you've all heard their singles, but if you've never
definitely check
If
them
you've
out.
never really taken a minute and like listened to Nirvana, like really listen to Nirvana, because I know everybody's like heard the name and they've heard the but like actually listen to them. Try to figure out what Kurt's trying to say. Try to listen to the fucking bass. Listen to the drums. Let it just fucking pound in your chest and ring in your head and fucking listen to the screams and let any frustration you feel, just let them take it out for you, because they did, and they did a great fucking job.
Fucking stellar job.
So
I'd recommend it to everybody.
Yeah, listen to Nirvana, guys. Nirvana is so good. And some people are like, oh my god, you're a basic bitch. Like, your favorite band is Nirvana. Like, really? They're like a big sellout band. I'm like, you know what? Nirvana's amazing. And stop being a hater. So Nirvana is fucking great. Listen to this record. Again, not their best work, but it's great, and it's definitely worth a spin.
Definitely.
So yeah, listen to it.
Listen to it. Let us know what you think down below. Let us know what songs you like the best. If anything stood out on the record that you really loved. Just honestly, just let us know what you think.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Kurt Cobain. Rock in peace. R.I.P. in peace.
Yep.
Definitely gone too soon. I guess it's another thing we'll probably talk about in future videos, because I have more Nirvana records. We'll probably cover them at some point, but yeah, just all the emotions and all of the struggles that Kurt Cobain went through was truly tragic, and if you ever feel that way, seek out help and listen to Nirvana.
Yes, definitely seek out help, for sure.
Definitely seek out help. Like, the little baby PSA in here, just in honor of Kurt. Seek out help. It's never too late. Nothing is ever beyond help. Nothing is ever so bad it can't get better. I promise. And when you feel frustrated, listen to Nirvana.
Yeah,
that's my life advice.
For sure.
Yeah.
Always here to talk if you need anybody.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah.
So subscribe, like. That's it.
Goodbye.
Peace out, everyone.